Yo, what is up, everybody? Happy Wednesday morning. It is ETF day, so they say. We're going to find out. We don't know what's going on with it. No one knows what's going on with it except for some hacker somewhere. So today's market dump, guys. Today's market dump brought to you by the SEC. This is all thanks to them not knowing what two-factor authentication is. But you guys have stumbled across Piper Academy, and I am Army Piper. We come at you every single Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the markets, and the charts. Everything so that you can have knowledge, because knowledge is profit here on Piper Academy. I appreciate you guys joining us here today. Thank you so much. You could have chose to be anywhere today. You chose to be here with us, so we appreciate you. Guys, lots of stuff going on here. Let me go ahead and just bring over these crypto bubbles real fast, and we'll talk about this. Big movers in the past 24 hours. Hex, garbage. EHEX, more garbage. But other things here that are moving on the charts, guys. Arbitrum up today. We had a big move on over there on Ethereum. I had to move something off the chart there. Sorry. Totally threw me off. Ethereum synthetics is up. $2,400 Ethereum hit though, and that was a beautiful thing. So we're going to be taking a look at that. We got a special guest on today. That is going to be TShroom. He's going to be joining us here in a little while. But before we go any further, let's go ahead and bring on my everyday partners in crime here on Piper Academy. TradeFly OC guy, what is up, fellas? How you doing?
What is up? Did anybody else fall asleep last night to Charles Hoskinson's sweet voice? Just curious.
Dude, was that not amazing? Was that not amazing?
That was awesome, man. What a
So
space.
for those that don't know, yesterday, every Tuesday, I'm usually over on Billy Goat Tales with Crypto Billy. It's the Givers Gang community, and I'm happy to be a part of that community over there. So I'm very proud of that group. But yesterday I was putting together a wall, which is almost done. It's halfway done, guys. The wall behind this green screen is almost complete. Yeah, the day that I'm building on a wall and not available to get in there and hang out in the Billy Goat Tales, Charles Hoskinson comes on and talks. So I missed my opportunity. I only had one chance, one shot. And I did not succeed like Eminem. So
yeah, you got mom spaghetti all over you. Or OC
I got
spaghetti?
I got OC spaghetti all over me, man. So
there it is, man.
What's up, OC? How you doing today, man? You are muted, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah. So
no, thank you.
Fantastic. Yesterday was such a I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say a fun day. It has so many things to happen, but when the SEC thing happened, I was on class, on a live class, and I mean, we were talking about like that across the whole month, or even farther before, I believe, from even November. I've been talking about this is about the process of the ETFs getting approved, and we're gonna be having some crazy things. So I mean, this is turning into a soap opera.
A soap opera? Absolutely, it is. Yeah. Absolutely. That's insane. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this news today, guys. We've got a lot of news that I want to get through, and we're going to have a discussion here in a little while. TShroom is going to be joining us in a little bit. He's finishing up over there on Investing Bros. So once he gets over here, we'll have some more discussion on this, but let's go ahead and jump into the news, get into everything that we need to know here. Taking a look here, guys. Looks like liquidations in the past 24 hours, $6 million was the top liquidation there on Bitcoin. In total, 69,000 traders approximately were liquidated in the past 24 hours, $229 million worth of liquidations there. The big liquidations, you can see it right here. Ethereum, those people that were trying to short it got wrecked. Bitcoin, those people trying to long it got wrecked. So yesterday, if you jumped out of the pot and into the fire, that's probably what happened with quite a few people. Yeah, getting totally wrecked there. Economic calendar today, guys. It is Wednesday, so we have Fed Williams speaking today. The big one's going to be tomorrow morning. Core inflation rate coming in. Right now, consensus and forecast is that it will be neutral or slightly below what it was previously. And then the year over year that we will be down either 0.2% or 0.1%. Core inflation rate currently sitting at 4%, and they are expecting it to be down to 3.8. So that's pretty good there. The inflation rate also, guys, this one's a little worrisome for me, and I'll tell you why in a second. 3.2%. That it is going to be higher, right? Or 0.10, a tenth of a percent higher. There is a forecast that it will be neutral. Now, if our inflation goes the opposite direction, the wrong direction, I am pretty sure that our chance of rate cuts is going to drop dramatically for May. So that's what I'm going to be watching, that big one right there. That's going to be the thing to see tomorrow. That comes out at 6:30 a.m. my time, so it's going to be out at 8:30 a.m. On the East Coast. So when we go live tomorrow, this information will have been out for an hour. Be watching in the morning, guys. If this number comes out bad, you're going to have a lot of volatility to deal with in the market. So you have an article, TradeFly. Normally I kick into the articles, but I got to address something with TradeFly, with TShroom real fast. So I'm going to let you go ahead and take that Polygon article. Are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was just hitting you up in the Discord, letting you know, send them the key. All right, so looking at Polygon, man. So some news came out. Fox is launching a protocol for content verification on Polygon. Now, this is pretty interesting, right? Because a lot of times when we talk about some of these projects and Polygon specifically, we're talking about more of the financial aspect of it. And for this one, it's pretty cool because what it's actually going to let people do is, or allow publishers, they're going to register content on chain in order to prove origination. So it's actually providing a, a utility for people to actually put something on the blockchain and utilize Polygon. So you guys know I'm a little Polygon bullish, but I thought it was pretty cool to kind of point that out, that again, we're finding different ways to actually have some utility, and you know that we're having a use case. And for me, that's bullish news for Polygon. So just wanted to point that one out.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, I sent that stuff over to TShroom, so hopefully we can get him in here in a second. But yeah, this Polygon news, I got a big bag of Polygon. I think it's like my fourth largest bag. I think it's going to do great. But every day Polygon continues to grow with their partnerships, and I will tell you that whoever is running their marketing team over there and their partner network and development, they are on fire because they're nailing everything all the time. So shout out to the Polygon Matic team, and shout out to the Matic holders out there that are so diligently trying to get this stuff going. Let's jump back over to Trio Cam here, and no, actually, we're going to jump to the news. I'm trying to get TShroom on here. I don't know what's going on. Let's go in here and take a look at what else we got in the news today, guys. Ethereum surpasses $2,400 as Bitcoin declines. Potential rise to $3,000 is looming. Hey, ZTS, can you take a look at Discord there on my Discord and start talking to TShroom, try to get them in here? Thanks. Let's go ahead and take a look down here. Ethereum has risen over 4% in the last 24 hours, breaking through a significant resistance level at 2,400, which could indicate a potential price breakout. Cryptocurrency analyst World of Charts suggests ETH is showing a bullish pennant formation with momentum building, and a breakout could target prices around $3,500. So after surpassing resistance levels between 2320, 2382. Currently, right now, Ethereum sitting at about 2390. So interesting. Want to see this happen. I got quite a bit, for transparency purposes, I got quite a bit of Ethereum. So Trader Skew emphasizes the importance of a solid close above 2,400, which we're about $10 below right now as we speak. On the 4-hour chart, combined with the network development optimism, the possibility of a Bitcoin ETF approval by the SEC, which we're going to talk a lot about today, which could fuel further investor interest in Ethereum. So there you go. That's in Ethereum news there. Looking at the economic side, guys, on the macro eco side here, we've got World Bank sounds alarm on global economic growth. If you guys don't know who the World Bank is, that's pretty much the cabal. Pretty much the cabal. The economic landscape has shifted dramatically, and the World Bank is at the forefront, sounding A resounding alarm and a stark revelation. The institution has projected that the global economy is embracing for its most sluggish growth spurt in 3 decades. This is globally. The world is going to slow down. So those that are thinking that it's going to crash the U.S. economy, just be aware, the U.S. usually sits very high up over other economies globally. So if everything slows down, it doesn't mean that we're going to, go into a massive spiraling crash in the United States. It just means that everything's going to slow down and it's going to have hard times across the board. I'd still rather be here dealing with the nasty US dollar than some of the other places out there if that happens. So, tumultuous economic trajectory. World Bank's recent forecast paints a somewhat grim picture. A global GDP growth scraping at a mere 2.4% in 2024. It's a notch down from the previous year, which is 2.6. So basically, overall, economic growth slowing down around the world. We've seen it here in the U.S. They've definitely seen it in China, so not looking too good there. And it looks like we do have TShroom in here. TShroom, I want to get you all set up here in a minute on the chart, on the quad chart, and we'll bring you on. All right. Elon Musk wants to build a Elon Musk wants to build a peer-to-peer payment system in X. If you guys don't know this, he had this on there the other day and it's looking pretty cool. The TLDR in this, Elon Musk plans to introduce a peer-to-peer payment system on X, his recently rebranded social media platform, formerly known as Twitter. The new feature aims to transform X into an everything app, blending social media with financial transactions. X Payments LLC, X's financial subsidiary, has secured money transmission licenses in 14 states. So still don't know for sure what this is going to be on. I would love to see this on something not as expensive on fees as Ethereum. But I'm not sure. I don't know where he's going to put this at. Whatever it is, when it comes out, I guarantee you is going to have a lot of momentum behind it on price growth. So and then what do we got here? Fox launches. We already did that one. SEC, you guys know about this. We're going to be talking about this in detail, but just a quick recap on it in case you don't know. The SEC Twitter account was compromised, falsely announcing Bitcoin ETF approval. Lawyers suggest investigating the SEC for potential market manipulations and violations of its own cybersecurity rules. Rejecting pending applications after expediting the process could be unprecedented as per the securities lawyer. So we're going to be talking about this in pretty decent detail. But right now, let's go ahead and we're going to try to bring up TShroom here on the quad chart. So I got a block for you here, TShroom. You have a block on here. I just need to bring you up here. So give me 1 second and we will get you here. We are going to assign you. Nope. I got to come over here and do it. Doing this on the fly right now, guys. So just bear with me for a second and I will bring old
I'll just sit
TShroom
here
up
and
here.
do emojis in the background. Here we
Do
go.
emojis in the
Fireworks
background.
for
Yeah,
you.
give us
There
some
you go.
action
There's some
there. There we
hearts.
go.
Let's go.
Oh, and look, TShroom's gone. We have no
And
TShroom.
he's back.
What's up, guys?
What's up,
What
man? How you
up?
doing,
What
brother?
is up, TShroom?
Better than I deserve.
I just want to bring up before we get into conversation, a topic discussion today, TShroom. Congratulations to the Investing Bros. You guys hit 7,000 subscribers. That's an amazing benchmark. And you guys should be proud. I'm very happy for the bros over there. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We've worked hard. We started November 30th, 2022. And so, it's been a long time coming, but we're here. 7K, baby. Next stop, 8K. And we're going to be giving away $100 because we hit 7,000 subs. And it's all thanks to the Investing Bro community.
I'm super happy for you, man. So you had Archie on your show this morning. I was listening to him for a little bit while I was prepping mine. Did he drop any great alpha to you before? He's going to be on here on Friday, so I don't want to give too much away to the alumni. But was there anything that you feel that before Friday people need to know about from that conversation with Archie?
Oh, well, he dropped a bunch of alpha. If you want to, learn what it was, go watch it over on the Investing Bros. But he said that he's got something brewing that he can't go public with yet until Friday. So if you want to hear what that is, you got to tune into Piper Academy and find out on Friday, 9:30 EST.
Nice. So let's get into this topic of discussion here because we've had some craziness that has taken place with the SEC stuff. we had yesterday. So here's the events. If you guys don't know, the events lay out like this. There was a tweet from the SEC Gov Twitter X account, and it said ETF approved, like very official, all this and that. Now, I officially thought that this was a preset, like here's how the government works, just so you guys know. In the federal government, everything that is a public release is now the freedom under FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act, is public record. So they can't just go and just publish something and then pull it back. Once it's out, it is there because of FOIA. They can't just rescind it, right? So I figured, hey, maybe this looked really, really legit on design. So maybe they sent this out. It was sitting there as, hey, get this ready. We need to get it reviewed and approved. Put it in a draft. We'll have it ready to send. And then someone there messed up because, federal employees that are partly useless.
They're doing their best.
Someone,
Piper.
they do their best, and sometimes their best ain't good enough, TShroom.
Right.
But so I figured maybe that was what happened. But then we get the X report that comes out, and it says, hey, this they were hacked. It's even worse than I thought. It wasn't an incompetent GS employee sitting over there at the SEC that hit the wrong button. It was someone in their IT department or someone that sets up all of their social media accounts that did not use two-factor authentication. And I love the post that was put out yesterday by Wendy O. She said, my 69-year-old mother uses 2FA. So, what do you think of this, TShroom? What's your take on this? Give me the TShroom take, and let's talk about this. And then I want to get a little discussion going on here because before we get into the charts, I think people need to understand the absolute chaos that occurred yesterday, and then we'll show them the charts to show them that chaos. So go for it, TShroom.
Yeah, well, honestly, Piper, the conversation we had yesterday just on the phone, Piper and I are constantly on the phone. I cannot stop calling him to figure out what the alpha is for the day. And what we were talking about yesterday was, everything he just laid out for you just then, because he's spent a lot of time working for the U.S. government and kind of knows how it works, how it operates. That shifted my thinking quite a bit. I thought it was, something else. And, ultimately my thoughts shifted quite a bit. What I think is pretty much in line with what Piper just said. I think there was more than likely, some entity that, probably some kind of hedge fund maybe, or, an agent of a hedge fund that figured out, how to hack into, or how to essentially find the password associated with a phone number that belonged to the SEC. And, and then used it to trade, basically used it to trade the volatility of a chaotic moment. I think the more interesting conversation now that could be had is, could the SEC use this as an excuse to delay the ETF, to say, hey, clearly there's been, some mismanagement of how we've been able to communicate with the public on this. And, and so we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to delay. Or, the crypto bros are just too crazy. We're not doing this. We're going to deny this ETF. Sorry, BlackRock. But I think the reality is that these giant financial institutions have way too much to lose from a credibility standpoint. They've put a lot of social capital on the line here in this moment, and also fees. They have a lot to lose in 60 years of gathering fees that they're looking at. Multiple hundreds of billions of dollars in fees. They're not going to just say no to that. They've got a shiny new object to sell to Wall Street, to sell to your pension funds. And ultimately, they're not going to just let this go, right? So if Gary Gensler is having any second thoughts right now, I'm sure that BlackRock is right there helping remind him, to whom he sold his soul. So that's kind of the way that I think about it. And I'm expecting an approval today, probably around the same time that it was scheduled to go out the first time, around 4 o'clock. There's also a chance, there's a chance of a lot of things. But yeah, that's kind of my thought about it. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm still very bullish. And I haven't taken a big trade, but I put in about $50. So very low margin, high leverage, and down at, I think it was 45,800. So got a pretty good entry.
Oh, look at you. Look at you.
44,800. Yeah.
Nice. OC TradeFly, what are your guys' take on this? What the data came out yesterday? Absolute total failure of security management over there at the Securities Exchange Commission. What's your guys' thoughts on this?
Yeah, so just looking into it, the X account that released it said that essentially they had gotten control of a phone number associated with SEC.gov. So it was a third
Correct.
party entity that basically got into the system. So it's really tough to say with the government, and did they actually get hacked, or is this just kind of them covering up, maybe a predetermined release of information that just got put out accidentally, and then they're like scrambling to be like, okay, how can we cover this up? Because that's not big in the grand scheme of things. We're not talking about some kind of large, like, issue that they're trying to really cover up. I mean, yeah, it's gonna stir an investigation, and when it stirs an investigation, here's now my thought about that. That might cause a delay because they're going to go through a process of doing some kind of investigation. So now here we go again. This buys them more time to actually release, the ETFs, because I think the ETFs are coming. And listening to Charles last night, he's like 100%. This is happening. There's too much money. BlackRock really is the entity that controls most things, and
Yeah.
so he was like
Yeah.
dead set on this. This is coming. It's just a matter of time and when it's going to come.
Yeah, I agree with that. OC, what's your thoughts on it? And then we're gonna jump over and get some looks at the charts here. And then I want TShroom. I got your screen share ready to go. If you got anything else
Nice.
that you want to lay out on this, so we'll bring you up right after OC.
Okay,
Well
sounds good.
then, guys. I mean, you guys have heard me for months already talking about it's about the process, not about the actual ETS getting approved, and talking about that we're gonna be having a couple of events that's gonna be bringing like a ton of volatility, like pushing the markets to the upside, then dumping them, then pushing them back up, so on and so forth, just to make sure that they can, or whatever it's behind this, can maybe position behind it and take advantage of whatever could be going on there, right? So I just believe that this is just not, I would say, planned, but it's kind of like the way that we've been seeing most of the Bitcoin thing happening. We've been in a forever range already, and we've been holding. My personal perspective it is that they're trying to break this range to the downside, maybe get a retest to lower sections. That it will be very, very nice right before the halving event, and I do believe that the ETF is coming, but I stand behind never earlier than the halving event. Especially, I will be saying that they're going to be doing it at the last quarter of 2024. So that is my take on that. But yeah, it's been a roller coaster.
A chaotic roller coaster. It's kind of like TShroom's thumbnail this morning on Investing Bros with him and Crypto Archie and a roller coaster. Great thumbnail, by the way, TShroom. Let's jump over to your screen, and you can show us what you got going on there, bro. Yeah, there's that
Yeah,
thumbnail.
absolutely. Well, here's,
That's
It
buckle
looks
up.
like Mr.
looks like
Bean.
something. Yeah,
Archie does. He's just like,
yeah. It looks like something Crux of Crypto would make. Crux got a real hand with the artistic flair. Always love to see him putting some stuff in. Yeah, well, I've got a magic support line here, Piper, that I've got drawn, and you've probably been clocking it as well. But going off of this high here from December 23rd, I'm sorry, December 29th, year of 23rd year. And then here, it kind of hits this high, and then gets all in this mess here of this confusion of whether it was price was going to go up or come back down back here in January 1st, the beginning of the new year. And that's kind of where I see the support. Bitcoin's price right now, at least, finding some support here and trading around in the region of. I'm not saying that it can't break down from this. I'm not saying that it's going to bounce up from here because it hasn't yet, right? Still but this is where we are seeing a little bit of accumulation here in the early hours of the New York Open. So that's right around 45,000. Like I said, I don't remember the exact entry because I did it on another computer, but I'm pretty sure that my entry was 44.8. So 44,800. So somewhere around here, and I'm in profit. Guys, I don't recommend trading. I don't recommend trading right now because there's just too many. But I wanted to go ahead and take money that I can afford to lose, $50, right? Just throw it into the market, and so far, I've been correct on that. Didn't put a stop loss, didn't put a take profit because it's just $50, right? So that's the way that cookie's going to crumble. Ultimately, guys, the most important thing to know right now in crypto. So this is like a little bit of TA for you. You guys are probably you guys have a lot more drilled in levels, of course, but this is just one level that I wanted to bring you guys. But this is the most important website in crypto right now. This is the sec.gov/news/press release website. And literally last night was a prime example of why I've been bringing this to the investing bros, why I've been posting about it. It's because if you don't see it here, it's not real, right? These are the .govs are the websites that bots attach themselves to, so that there can be, bot trading, so they can get good, clean information. They don't attach themselves to Twitter accounts in most cases. So that's where we are. Definitely be checking this website. This is going to be where it says approved or denied or delayed, or whatever it's going to be, here on sec.gov. And honestly, guys, that's the most valuable information I think anybody can say in crypto right now, is where you're going to actually find the objective information. So there we go. That's kind of my take right now of what I'm tracking. Obviously, yesterday was complete chaos. Hopefully today will be less chaotic, but on the charts, I'm sure we're going to be seeing some slaughterhouse movement. We'll see. My prediction, I want to hear what you guys think about this, because I've been having a chat with Tim about this on the show. I think that there's a chance that we go back and see all-time highs up at 69. So I kind of draw this scenario out. I think there's a chance we go up and see, I have to scroll out a little more for this. Oh, I'm on the 1 hour chart here. Hold on a second. Let me get on the weekly at least. There we go. So we go up and we see around call it 70,000, right? But then we see a 50% retrace right around here. And I think this might have been a little bit more than 50%. But Piper and TradeFly OC, I want to get you guys' thoughts. So this would be 60%. So more like 35. So do you think that it's possible that we see a huge pump up to 70,000 or something that breaks all-time high, and then a 50% retracement down to 35? Do you think that that's possible, that we see that all in the span of around 24 hours once this ETF is approved?
Historically, we have seen 50% retracement. So I would not ever take it off the table and say it's not possible. But I think historically, we have that. But what I will say is, and let's go back to quad cam here. What I will say is that if this here, which looks like the 1 minute chart yesterday, if we have this retracement like that, where it pumps up and then comes back down, I think that there are some other key levels of support in there. But I'm going to jump over to one of my charts here, and then I'm going to try to bring you on while I do this. So just bear with me, because I don't know that I have you on my chart. So let's jump over here. And well, you're on there from the YouTube. Taking a look here, and I'm going to get you on my chart here real fast. I'm going to throw a little camera in here. It's not going to be as pretty as the other ones, but we will get it done. Watch this. We're going to go like this. We're going to grab all. There we go. Nope, that's not going to work. You're not there yet, man. I gotta add you in here. You are an embodied voice. It's okay. Actually, let me go over here. Hey, TradeFly, you go through what you were looking at on Bitcoin while I bring him onto my chart.
Was TShroom ever even real?
Oh, cool.
TShroom is real. He's just a voice in the Ethernet now.
All right. Well, you're lucky I'm quick here, Piper. All right. So over to the 4 hour chart, looking at Bitcoin. One of the things I want to point out to you guys before you get too freaked out, because the price did drop pretty significantly, and we saw a lot of volatility. Look at this channel. We've been talking about this channel for quite some time. We're still in it. Okay. So even with all that volatility that we had, seeing swings, of what? Let me go ahead and measure it. I don't think it was more than, here you go, not even 10%. That's nothing for Bitcoin. If you guys remember back to a couple years ago, we were seeing 10%, 12% swings. And that's why I fell in love with crypto, to be honest with you, because I loved the volatility and I loved finding things like this on charts, finding this channel and just being able to play the bottom and the top side of these channels. Well, again, we're still in it. So relax. I think everything's okay right now. Yeah, we had a little bit of volatility, but grand scheme of things, there was nothing that really freaked me out yesterday. So coming over and actually looking at some of the indicators, I mean, it's really hard to say. I would love to say that these indicators mean a lot right now, but let's all be honest right now. The news is driving a lot of the movement that we've seen on Bitcoin on the daily, right? So, but if you are looking at the prime oscillator here, this is a RSI based oscillator, and you can see that we still have this up and right trend of the oscillator. So even though you're hitting these overbought positions, like that's fine. You're in an uptrend. You're going to see those, especially on a 4-hour chart, but you still have an up and right. And then looking at the MVP oscillator, again, still have that up and right. You are seeing a very faint like bottoming, which is kind of nice, right? Because that bottoming is starting to align with some of our horizontal levels of support. And you can see we do have a pretty decent one here. Just by looking at the charts here, it was resistance all the way through here. You did see it try to hold support right there. All right, so that's good. And then resistance again. So I will say at about 44.6, not too far from where TShroom had his entry, that's actually a decent level of support where, there could be an area for a potential long setup. So that's a real quick look at Bitcoin. Hopefully, Piper, you got some time here to pull up your chart. Let's see what you got, man.
Yeah, let's jump over there to me, and then we're gonna have a look at this. I got TShroom up there now. There we go. Little TShroom action in here. Hey, what's
There
up,
he is.
TShroom? How you doing, bro?
Better
Yeah,
than
so
I
taking a
deserve,
look.
Piper.
You do exist in my world, TShroom. You will always exist. So taking a look here, guys, what's going on? We got this long running channel trend that I showed you guys here, parallel channel that we've been in going back all the way since like December, the 1st of December. And we had a couple of breakouts here that we hit in it, but for the most part, we just were trading this little channel here. We had a little breakout yesterday, especially with the SEC news that happened the last couple of days. But look where we are right now. We're balancing on this 50% line of the channel right now. We are about to hit the 0 line here on the Oscillator Pro, and right now the thing that I am worried about, the bearish side of the oscillator, is how big these candles are on the RSI Prime Heikenashis. The reason for this is we're not getting any smaller candles. Typically, we'll get these smaller candles as we're starting to, get slowdowns. They'll get shorter and shorter before that flip. We still have really long ones coming in. The other thing, though, that I want to show you, where did we get rejected at yesterday, guys? For the candle close for this week, I should say. Right here, the 786. So looking at the 786 and what we have going on right now, we broke above it yesterday, still in phase 3, but right now the weekly candle close is coming back below that 786. I do believe, and this is going to come into line a little bit with some of your projections. Let's say, TShroom, on your $70,000 Bitcoin retracing back to that 35 range, okay? Typically on the, as I've showed you guys this before, typically we come back and we test the 0.66 on every cycle of when we're in phase 3. Keep going back here, keep going back here. There we go. Come back, test the 0.66, right? That little golden line running horizontally there on the chart. Do it every cycle. If we were to pump up to that 50%, to that $70,000 range, right? That would be a breakout completely out of this, out of the phase 3 cycle here. But if we take a look at what would happen on a 50% retracement, let's take this up. We hit the golden pocket. Okay. We hit the golden pocket here on the horizontal, on the Fibonacci channels, and then a 50% pullback. Well, 38,500 is going to be the retest of the 0.66. So is that what happens? We get this astronomical breakout of phase 3 that we don't normally see, and we still come back to test the 0.66, but it's after a 50% retracement from your $70,000 target. Very interesting how that could play out there based on what you were talking about, TShroom. That's what I wanted to show you, show everybody. So let's go.
Just really
Go ahead.
quick, like
Yeah.
I by no means think that there's a majority chance that that's going to happen. What I think my base case is that we see some volatility and price does go up and to the right on the approval. But I think ultimately my base case is that we probably don't even get probably around 58,000 would probably be around where we see in a big volatility spike. I think that's much more likely. But then I think that we see a melt up from there over
Right.
2024. It's just constant higher lows and higher highs, and with some volatility on FUD. I mean, we still got CZ's conviction, his sentencing, conviction and sentencing to come. So that could potentially have some fireworks if he says some things about other exchanges and what he knows about them, which he could be incentivized to do if the
Yes, he
DOJ
could.
is doing what they do
There-
best. And so there's still some fireworks to come. But ultimately, the banks have waited to get into the crypto space until now for a reason, right? And they're getting in now for a reason. And that reason is because there's a lot more clarity, and they anticipate an increase in regulatory clarity, not a decrease in regulatory clarity. So they feel comfortable exposing themselves and their clients and their reputation to this wonderful new gold that we call Bitcoin, and to the industry that's kind of lurking beneath of crypto.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great take on it, TShroom. You always have great takes. That's why TShroom's takes.
Appreciate
It's a thing. It's a thing.
Better than I deserve.
Doing better than you deserve. Yes. So one big question that I have is, and it's in the poll here. You guys have a poll for it. Will the Bitcoin ETF be approved today? Right now, currently in the poll, 58% have said yes, 44% have said no. There you go. Let's go around the board here. We'll go this direction. TradeFly, is the ETF approved today or not?
No.
No. OC guy. We saw your Uno card.
You know
He
my
says
answer.
no.
I've been so into it.
Yeah, you have been on the bearish no Uno card for a while when it comes to this ETF. TShroom, is the ETF
I think
approved
it
today
is.
in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it is, and I think it's approved at market close, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Gary called me this morning. That's how I know. So.
Oh, well, why didn't you tell me that? I just would have just said, hey, TShroom said he knows the answer, and just put that as a thumbnail. And how'd you like this? Going, I know. So my take, I don't think it's approved today. I think that they say that they want to review. Listen, they want to review the security on everything involved with it, and they can't do anything with until this pending investigation is complete, and then it comes out by Friday. I don't think it's today. I think we see it either tomorrow or Friday, because they do have the reasoning to say we have to finish this quick internal review, as to what they'll call it, to make sure that we have no other security breaches or security gaps that need to be tightened up for threat mitigation. And then it comes out Thursday or Friday. That's what I think. But what do any of us know? We're just some bros on YouTube. I'm just saying,
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Financial
shocked.
advisors in a beanie cap.
Yeah,
right.
I wouldn't be shocked for that type of an outcome. I would still say it's not heavy. I don't think that's heavier. That logic is heavier though than kind of BlackRock and Valkyrie breathing down your neck. If I'm Gary Gensler, I think that they've done too much work to make this happen. But I wouldn't be shocked because I do think that logic holds up.
A lot of people in here agree with you, TShroom, just so you're tracking in the chat right now. And B10X said Bloomberg confirmed all 11 will be approved today, apparently. So, I could be wrong. But if they had to have a reason, they created a reason yesterday with this. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, TShroom. TShroom, you got anything else you'd like to share with these good people before we go dig into some heavy TA?
Well, I shared the most important thing, which is sec.gov is the website to be getting this update. I really wouldn't be trusting any other accounts, not because, you can't trust the people behind them, but you don't know who's hacking into whose accounts, right? Yeah. So if you're watching, because I know a lot of bigger channels watch you guys, if you're watching and you're a big channel, you have the responsibility to have that two-factor authentication on because you are a voice of authority, right? So be very, very careful, guys. With your own security. Don't take any leverage positions with anything you can't afford to lose. If you have anything invested that you can't afford to lose, right? Nobody's going to call you a coward for selling, but don't have your kids out on the street. If you need to buy a new car and you've been waiting out and you're not going to be able to drive to work tomorrow because the tires are shot or the radiator's busted, do the right thing for sure. And that's the TShroom take. I won't call you a coward.
Can you pull up that screen again? And I'm going to share it real fast with the people again. for that website. And then I got a quick closeout on that to explain to people. So there we go. Nope, that's the wrong one.
absolutely.
There we go.
It's
Right there. So
yeah,
sec.gov
Mhm.
and it's press releases, right? Or is it releases?
Yeah, so if you just go to sec.gov and then click the little eagle up here, like on most government websites, but then you go over to news, right, and then down to press releases, the first
Yep, there it
drop
is.
down, and
Yep.
then there you are. And you know, anything that's important that the SEC does is here. And then the last thing they did was appoint small business advocate, and then they found out somebody was doing a bunch of fraud in Florida, right? Wasn't me. But that's the website that
Are
you
you
want to
sure?
be tuned into.
Does it say an unknown person in Gainesville?
Yeah, that's my stage name. Rishi Kapoor is my stage name.
I knew it.
It's my
I
real
knew it.
estate name.
I knew it. So just so you guys know, real quick on this, before we head into the TA side, per OPM, Office of Personnel Management, that is what manages every single agency within the federal government. Per their policy letter, for media releases, social media does not replace the requirement to put information out for the federal federally released publications of on a .gov website. So every single agency has a .gov website, and it is a requirement, regardless of what other avenues that they release public information. It has to be released officially on their .gov website also. So excellent point that TShroom's bringing up there. Yeah, you can try to get that front ran information that drops on X, but until you see it on a .gov website, it is not official. So you guys should, always do your due diligence. So you heard it
Piper, really
from
Hey,
TShroom.
Najib
So
Bukele.
that's
I'm
right.
Eleanor.
watching.
Eleanor
What's that,
Tourette,
Tisha?
actually, I think is her name. She was saying, she was kind of speculating that they may not do any press releases on social media today. And honestly, if I'm their press advisor, I might actually recommend that. I might say, the market is kind of in trauma right now from what happened yesterday. Let's go ahead and hold off on that. Let's use these traditional media channels. Let's serve it up to CNBC, to Bloomberg, and obviously SEC.gov. But as far as X today, we're gonna hold off. Facebook, hold off. Instagram, we're gonna hold off on all that for today. I don't think so. I think they'll still publish it on social media, but it's definitely a good argument for not doing it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being on today, TShroom. We're going to jump into some TA. You're more than welcome to, to hang out in the green room and listen in, but I'm sure you have 1,001 things to do today because you are the busiest man in the crypto space, dog. So
my dogs have to go to the bathroom. They need to be tended to. Usually they would have been tended to just after my stream, 9 a.m. So I got to go do that, or else I'm going to be cleaning up some puddles, and we don't want that. We've already got enough to clean up when the SEC is running the show. So
no
I
kidding.
will see you guys later. It's great to see you, TradeFly, OC, and Piper, of course. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, let's do this again.
Likewise, man. Take it
All
easy.
right.
Thanks, TShroom.
Adios.
Guys, great having TShroom on here today. That was awesome. Let's get into some TA. TradeFly, OC. I'm gonna hand it off to you guys first, and we'll start going in. TradeFly, what are you taking a look at first?
All right. So thanks for the blind side, bro. All right. One thing I was looking at was the 50% retracement. All right. So I was like, well, let me look at the charts. Let me see what I think about this on the weekly. So I did go up to the all-time high, and I was like, all right, let me do a fib retracement from current level up to the all-time high and see, like, if it pulled back, where could it actually go? No idea why the fireworks are going off right now. But if it pulled back to the golden pocket, we could potentially see a bounce, right? A lot of people would play that area, see a little bounce, and then we kind of get that, that clear out of liquidity because people are going long at this point, a lot of leverage trading. They clear them out, bring it back to about 52K. And then I'm like, well, what's that pullback? What's that measurement there? And that's about a 23% pullback for me. So, that would probably be something I would look at maybe as a realistic, play out. And I kind of just drew like a little, arrow here to kind of show that. And I think that could really actually play out, honestly. What do you think about that? Miss, I know You're the subject matter expert here, the shmee of technical analysis. You think that's logical?
Yeah, it absolutely is, man. I was getting my my camera set back up over here for my screen share without TShroom on it. So, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, I could see that. I mean, retracements are healthy, guys. At the end of the day,
yeah,
when you have a big pump up, you've got to have a retracement. But I would watch for so you have it set to come back to the golden pocket and bounce, and then
initially.
potentially the platinum pocket. The
Yeah,
golden pocket could easily hold on that, just so you're tracking. And then
yeah,
what
absolutely.
I would really watch is that 50%. Usually on retracements, that 50% is a massive support level. So,
You're right.
yeah, so you
I was
really have a pocket there. I would put a T box over that entire area between the 50 and the platinum pocket if I was doing that, and just call
yeah,
it a support zone, because
I'll
that's
say
how strong that 50, the golden, and the platinum are. So,
yeah, I think that that's the play where you're gonna see a bounce in that area, and then they're gonna try to clear everyone out. And then
yep.
once they clear everyone out, that's when we see that movement back up and right. And the reason I'm concentrating on that area is only because of these major, major support and resistance levels. And you can see that breakdown. I mean, you can see it clear as day right here. So that's going to be a prime area for me to keep an eye on, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you're talking about there fits right in line with this here. What I said here earlier with old Larry Fink here. Thanks, Gary. We bought the dip. You know, Larry Fink is going to be looking for any chance that he can get to buy that dip. So, good zone there of support, and I absolutely could see that pull back, especially if some of these institutions did not get enough Bitcoin and they figure out that, oh my God, we need more Bitcoin. So, which could happen, you know. Manipulation, it's a thing. So let's go
Yeah.
ahead and bring up OC. What you got for us on your charts? Let's bring it up here.
So let me say that this is a little bit of what I'm expecting today. So I do expect that we do a little bit for movement to the upside. Nonetheless, remember that we are into a short, or I am to a short. I yesterday was talking about it, and finally I ended up entering to a short. It's already in profits, and I'm getting ready to take 50% out. And also, just like T-Shirt mentioned, there's a chance that we can see that pump, and I am expecting that little pump. I'm not expecting a huge pump if it doesn't get approved, but I do expect a little bit of volatility. Let's see those two arrows that we have here, all right? The second arrow here, I'm gonna move it, but I want to show you guys that this was the the FTX crash, all right? Nonetheless, this other crash that we had going on here, I do really, really remember it because Piper and I was the very first time that we were, broadcasting the session on Chart Prime, and we were almost taking trades at the same time there. So let me go into the 4 hours and see you what's happening there, which it is what I believe might be happening, but in a bigger scale. All right. So we were moving, or we were ranging up like as we are right now. All right. So basically making that pressure going up and down. And then we had the SEC right here. So what happened? It pumped. I believe it was this couple of candles. I don't quite remember which candle was it. And then it pumped, and then I don't quite remember what exactly they were saying that it was bullish, and then it dropped like immediately. Once it dropped and broke through, well, the couple of next days we started having that movement to the downside. So that is basically what I am speculating that's going to happen. Let me get you guys at the end of this chart so we can see exactly where are we standing. Remember last time that I was talking about Bitcoin, I was speculating between these two sections. I did draw and updated this trend line. This channel that I have going on in this case. So let me also update the channel, but look at the trend line that we're having in here. All right, so I draw it from these 3 weeks, and then I was speculating that if we break through and find support with a flip of the ribbon on the green cloud, then we're going to be continuing our movement to the outside. But also, I was saying that if we don't and we get into the red cloud here. Most likely, we're going to be breaking back into the channel. And once we break back into the channel, my next target, target, it's going to be the center of that channel. Just very interesting. This aligns very, very close of what Piper was talking about, and also what TShroom had his support level there. And we don't have yet that flip of the ribbon. So for me, I waited until not a volatility week, not this week. All right, this is for me a volatility week, not that one, but the next one closed in the green, and then just a little bit late there, I did open up a short. As you can see right now, it is on green, and I'm getting ready to take 50% out. Again, I am not, I know that this is a small trade. Nonetheless, I'm trying to take advantage of the previous range that we've been playing out. I'm going to be keeping the other 50% out. And then as this same candle goes back down into the center of the channel, I will be looking again for that FOR, and I'll be purchasing another or head switching that trade for a flip of the ring on BTC. So that's what I got for BTC. I also have Solana, AVAX, XPX, and ADA just in case in line to make the turnaround there.
Awesome. Yeah, good trade there. You were you used one of those liquidations we went over at the start of the show as your exit liquidity, so that's awesome for you. Looking here at the chat, Shadow Trades said that his target for Bitcoin is $62,000 to $63,000. So that's a pretty good move. I would love to see that, Shadow Trades. Just wanted to drop that out here. And then also B10X. Nope, it wasn't B10X. It was Shirley. What was it? Fortress? Let me find it here. I just had them up. I had them up here. Yeah, Shirley Fortress said ETH Genesis Wells address just bought. Please do your own research, verify on chain. The largest DAI holder just bridged to Pulse Chain. So that's interesting. And then Christian Major asked for eGold and AVAX. So if one of you guys want to take one of those, I'll take the other one. But right now I'm going to jump over to some Ethereum on my charts here to show you guys what's going on with Ethereum. Right now we are getting a breakout on Ethereum. Let's jump in here and take a look. Ethereum right now sitting back above $2,400, guys. It's at $2,435 as we speak right now, and it is above the golden pocket. Why is this a big deal? Well, because if we can hold this, we haven't been above the golden pocket yet. We've had multiple rejections here. Let's go ahead and highlight them. 1, 2, and 3. We did have a rejection here over a couple of days. The candle tried to come back down overnight here and close below that 0.66. But right now we are sitting above it, and it looks like we are having upside movement here. Let's go take a look at the oscillators and see what we're seeing on here for this. We do have an upward movement here. It's not a very steep ribbon, but we did get that ribbon twist right down here at the bottom, almost coming off of a touch here yesterday on that long-term trend line, going all the way back to November of 2022, not 2023, a few months ago. 2022, this trend line has been in play on Ethereum. We almost got a perfect touch there on it. And as long as this line is, it could easily have been nudged up or down either way. It might actually be a touch if we went back and readjusted this, but I don't readjust my lines usually. So taking a look here though, on the oscillator, we do have the upside. It looks like we're about to get another like squeeze up on this into that bearish zone. Then I would be watching, because as of right now, we still don't have any overbought blocks up there. No downtrend area, still looks good there. And we can see here, if we go back and look at the RS Prime, guys, this thing can get all the way up above the 90% mark. So RSI can continue moving up, and this signal line down here can easily ride up and go sideways for a while. So looking pretty bullish on Ethereum right now. I would, you know, if that is true, that there's a bunch of movement out there, do your own research, look on your own chain analysis, ETH.io, and see what's going on out there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up. Which one did you guys take, eGold or AVAX? Who took it?
I pulled up AVAX on the 4 hour.
Perfect. Then I take eGold.
Okay, let's. Who's ready? OC or TradeFly? Either.
We're probably both ready.
I can pull
it. All right.
Yeah,
TradeFly, go for it, bro. And we'll bring up eGold next.
All right.
Let's go.
Per the request, got AVAX on the 4 hour here. All right, so two things I'm looking at on AVAX. All right, so you have this, generally you got a line of support here, up and right. So the overall trend up and right, it's bullish. However, we are starting to get some indications that we may be kind of turning down a little bit. Looking at the prime score, it's a 2, not so great. Consolidation is a 7. So I think we did talk about AVAX probably in last couple of days, and I believe we were looking at this support level right here, since I already had it on my chart at about 32.25, and then the 0.236. I believe we said we were probably looking at some consolidation in that area. That's kind of playing out. But what I'm seeing right now is kind of a squeeze. All right. So if you're looking at this trend line right here going up and right, and then you look at this trend line going down and right, you can see that the price action is really starting to get squeezed in this consolidation area. So high likelihood that we could stay in this area. But what I do want to look at too is the prime oscillator, and coming down and looking at that on the chart here, you can see again, one of the things I look for is trends kind of on the oscillators as well, right? So you're getting a down and right trend, and then looking at the bottom part of it, you were getting a little up and right, but look now, this one right here is actually a little bit lower. All right. So now you have both the top side and the bottom side kind of, I'll say, going down and right. Now, coming down to the MVP oscillator, you would hope to see a bottoming indication here, at least on the 4-hour short term. But that's not really printing either. It's kind of just status quo, kind of just going horizontally to the right here. So looking at it, my bet would be on consolidation, staying in the zone between about 32.5 and about 40 would be my bet. However, I would caution you and say that if I was a betting man, that you might have a little more pressure to the downside than to the upside with AVAX specifically. Now, understand Bitcoin is daddy. If we see a major movement with Bitcoin, you're going to see movement with Avalanche and some of the other alts. But right now, my bet is on consolidation between in this zone, and then the pressure probably leaning towards going down and right a little bit. So where would we look? We would look at the 0.5. That would be an obvious area, but I like to kind of find confluence with some of the support and resistance levels. So my big target area right now is going to be the golden pocket if it really does start to pull back. So set your alerts there, obviously at the 0.5, but really I would be looking for an entry somewhere at the 618 and the 65 at about 24.5 to about 23.2.
Awesome. Yeah, that's I can agree with all of that there. OC, you got time to do eGold, and then we're gonna have to wrap it up. I was gonna take a look at Polkadot here. Depending on how fast you get through eGold, I will jump in and do that. If not, we'll wrap it up because we're getting close to the mid hour. So there you go,
Time
OC.
flies when you're having fun,
Rush into
baby.
it.
Let's
All
go.
right. Let's go. So guys, bear with me because I'm going to be pulling out my spaghetti. So, and we're also going to be cleaning it up. So we have a trade going on since we broke here below, because we also were breaking through that zero line. Also, we've been seeing that it keeps moving. So let's get ready. Here it is, my spaghetti. So we have this trade, we broke this, and this is the current trade that I already have taking out. So I went out right here in this section. So now it's time for me to remove everything. Just pay attention to this area right here, that in this little movement up here, because I'm going to be bringing it back. All right, so remove everything, and I am removing that one because look at that, going down maybe little range, very ugly little range. All right, V-shaped recovery, and then the high not higher than the previous range. So then why did I have this little movement here? Because I thought that the range was going to be this one. Therefore, my next movement would have been to the dynamic reactor. It turned out that this is not what happened, but we're still making that pressure to the upside. And most likely, if we keep moving downwards, as we close this candle or the next candle, we're going to have a triple bullish divergence. All right, so we're getting ready for maybe that flip of that movement. And also, now that we understand that we are in a high possibility of a Wyckoff range, let's make that measurement for the range. So I'm going to be calling this as my primary range, and my secondary range will be between here and there. And I'll just make sure that I pull it all the way to where my dynamic reactor will be in the future. And for the lower range, it's going to be somewhere around here. That for this one to become a triple divergence, I am expecting the spring to happen and then a breakthrough retest, and off we go. So far, based on the Wyckoff ranges there. But So far, we are pushing up on our volume and momentum right down there. So I'm looking for a possible reversal as I break through above. If that happens, I will be expecting a change on my prime score, and I'm going to be looking for a better possible entry. Therefore, again, this is not going to be my entry specifically, but this is going to be an early alarm that I will be revisiting when it hits for me to come back and see what did the rebound made. If the rebound flicked to the downside, I'm going to be continuing for a possible short at the highest level. If the rebound is breaking above, well then, sorry, I'm going to be looking for a support zone to enter for a long in there. Just to back things up, you can see that we have a loud order block right down here against a soft order block already all the way up here. And look at this trend line. This decorates very nicely to a breakthrough test, retest on the trend line, go back to the soft order block, and then pierce and go through the high order block and dynamic reactor. So that's what I got. This throwing it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to do a super fast dot and then we're going to wrap it up out of here. Just for shadow trades, he said, can you take a look at dot here for me? So check it out, bro. Right now, as we speak, we are testing a loud order block here on Chart Prime's indicators. We did break this green line. This green line is the 50-day exponential moving average right now. I've got it pulled up on days, not on the weekly. Let me double check that. Yep, daily. So we're losing that right now. If we cannot get this momentum out of this order block on this 4-hour candle to get back above this 50, then we are likely heading to the 50% on the Fibonacci here. This Fibonacci had a test here, almost a test here on the wick down, and a lot of play back here previously between December, the whole month of December of 2023 there. So I'd be watching for that line coming down at $5.80, we'll call it. If it cannot hold that, bro, check it out. Well, looking down here, this is your 300 and your 200-day exponential moving averages sitting right in the ballpark of the golden pocket. So again, to recap this, if we cannot hold this current range that we're at and get it back above this 50-day moving average here, look for this 50% fib. If we can't hold that, brother, we're probably going to be going down to test the golden pocket, that 200, that 300, all sitting in that range. So that's what I got there for you on a quick dot TA there, guys. It is a little bit past our normal time, about 2 minutes past it today, but we appreciate you guys joining us here today on Piper Academy. TradeFly OC, quick outros from you guys. You got anything?
Yeah, as always, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Love being in the chat with you. Jeff M, Matic, tune in tomorrow. I will do that personally. Let's go.
Awesome.
Take a look at what the ETF might be happening today, because it's going to be a very interesting day. Guys, I mean, take care. Plan for worst case scenario, because that's going to be keeping you safe. Trying back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Hey guys, don't forget, if you guys got any value out of the content today, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new here, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, get notified every time we go live. Check down below in the links and you will see some great stuff there. I keep getting all these buttons over here pushed. Chart Prime 45% off, and of course, 10% off right there on legendary aviation coffee. Getting my caffeine in every morning. Got to fuel the brain. So guys, thanks for joining us here today on Piper Academy. We appreciate you. Check us out tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back here bringing you guys the news, the markets, and the charts. Everything that you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Guys, till tomorrow morning, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss.
That was awesome, dude!